In the name of God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. I brought my writing journal with me today, and I did because I read the gospel a couple of times during this past week. I was really taken with it. I really enjoyed it. So I decided to write a poem about it. So I'm going to share the poem with you as kind of a warm-up for my sermon. The title of the poem is Come and See. I heard the Lord ask me what I was seeking. The voice of the Lord said, "Come and see." I'm looking for peace in my heart and in the world. I sat in the Lord's house and listened to the teacher speak all day long and into the afternoon. I asked the Lord to keep them safe from the hard hearts of the oppressors, who find joy in persecution, whose enemy is the immigrant. I begged the Lord for a new song, a song of praise to God, a song that heals divisions, a song that unites and knits together. I heard the voice of the Lord, as clear as a bell. Come and see. Today we hear Jesus' first spoken words in the Gospel of John, and they are perplexing words, words that beg an answer. What are you looking for? What are you looking for? Another better translation would be, what are you seeking? Both an invitation and an examination. Jesus' first words in the Gospel of John are a question. An important question. What are you seeking? It's an invitation to actively examine your own hearts and to see, to bear witness to what we find there. The two disciples he asked don't actually answer Jesus' question, do they? In fine rabbinic tradition, they respond with still another question. Where are you staying? Which is actually poor translation because it reads a little as if these two disciples of John are asking where Jesus' hotel room is. But they're actually asking a bit more significantly. John uses the same verb, the Greek word meno, which also means abide. The same verb, abide, that Jesus uses later when he says, I abide in you, and you abide in me. The disciples are asking, where do you abide? Where do you make your home? Where do you rest? Where may we come and be present with you? And Jesus does not give them an easy answer. He doesn't say, I live in Nazareth, or I live next door to Bob. He merely says, come and see. It's an invitation, this come and see. It's also a choice and a challenge. If we are to come and see something, we have to be open to the possibility that it's going to be something new. It's something which we're going to have to be willing to see, to open our eyes to, and be willing to look at, even if what we see is something we've never seen before. If we're going to see with new eyes, then we have to be willing to admit to the possibility that we ourselves don't have all the answers, that there is still more for God to tell us, even if it turns out to be something that surprises us or shocks us, that breaks into our lives and reorders it. This is the Epiphany, after all. The time when we celebrate the light breaking into our lives, when we celebrate the unfolding of the incarnation, when God does a new thing and breaks into history here on earth. It's that time when we bring our gifts and ourselves and we offer them to God, even when we don't quite understand the mystery of how this all happened or why. We only know that we are not the people we used to be. In order to find what they seek, these two followers of John will turn and follow Jesus. They will spend time with him. They will abide with him. In fact, for the entire afternoon. And then one of them, Andrew, will then go and tell others. He goes to his brother Simon, says to Simon, "We've found the Messiah." Andrew accepts the invitation to come and see, and then goes out to issue that same invitation to his brother and to others. Come and see this new thing that God is doing. Come and see the Messiah, the one who baptizes, not with water, but with the Holy Spirit. And then we have the beginning verse of Corinthians, with the Apostle Paul writing a letter to the young congregation in Corinth. It's hard to remember sometimes that when we're reading the epistles, what we're doing is really reading someone else's mail and only getting one side of the conversation. From what Paul has to tell us, we understand that the people at the church in Corinth are in the middle of a serious argument about several things, one of which is whose spiritual gift is more important than the others. Paul writes, "In every way you have been enriched in him, in speech and knowledge of every kind. You are not lacking in any spiritual gift." Paul is speaking to the plural you. Together, collectively, the Corinthians have all the gifts that they need, and one person is not more important than the other. As a community, they need one another if they're able to see what God has to reveal to them. This is something hard for us to remember these days, when what divides us may seem much more powerful than it ought to be. Whose gift is more valuable? We and the people of Corinth ask one another. Paul's answer is unmistakable. In every way, we are a gift to one another. Each one of us has gifts with which God has endowed us, gifts that the rest of us need. And when we are not in community with our neighbors, with one another, then there are gifts that we miss. When you came to church today, bringing those gifts with you, what did you hope to see? You got up, you got dressed, you started the car, shoveled the driveway, and you traveled here to church. Why? What are you seeking? What do we come to our faith community for? What do we hope to see? What are we looking for? We come here because we've found goodness here. We've found something life-sustaining. We've found something very much like hope, or else we wouldn't return. Have you found hope here? In the Eucharist, in the prayers, in the presence of the Holy Spirit, in friendship with one another, and in service? How have you borne witness to that hope? Have you ever, in your own way, invited someone else to come and see? To come and see for themselves what there is? Have you shared whatever it is you have found, hope or friendship or the joy of serving others? If we sing our own song, the one that God has placed in our hearts, if we bear witness to what we have seen, if we speak of God's love and God's faithfulness, then we too are drawn closer to God and to one another in the telling of it. The psalmist says to us, "I waited patiently for the Lord." There is an element of hope, of expectation there. The psalmist is one who has found God, or who has been found by God. You have done great things, God. You have lifted me out of the lonely and desolate pit. You have set my feet on a high cliff and made my footing sure. This is a witness and a testimony. It is telling the story of what God has done so that others might hear it and find hope themselves. What is it that Jesus asks of us today? If he were to turn to you right now, at this moment, just as he did to his disciples, and ask, what do you seek? What would be your answer? When we have found the Jesus we seek, or we have been found by him, then it is our turn to use the gifts God has given us to tell the story of hope and how God has entered our lives. We are to invite others in turn to come and see.